Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kira's show here. Now then, things are finally quiet enough around here, so I will be able to start posting. So let us begin. Whenever we last left off, this strange man, nicknamed the Mummy, has told Deku that he will be living here for now, and that they will be starting training soon. Now, Deku is instructed to go to sleep, and that tomorrow he will get things ready. Deku would listen to his instructions. As the man, he would leave the building and rewrap his face. Now, he is going to buy equipment. He would drive around the town and start purchasing random equipment software. It would look random or seem like, oh, I'm just missing these parts for these items, but really, he is purchasing these at different stores. Multiple computers, multiple HDMI cords, multiple of anything, along with actually getting Deku set up on his own router system, which will be a lot easier. Now, he would come back a couple hours later, as Deku would awaken to hear the man pulling a van into the, building. The man telling Deku that this is nothing to be frightened about. It's quite simple, as he would begin to unload the equipment and put it on a desk in the corner of the room, telling Deku that this will be a bit tricky and or hard, as he sets up multiple different computers and begins to overlay them over each other. Basically, he would hook up certain computers to the wall and certain ones would just sit down on the desk. Deku actually watching them, as he sees everything the man is doing. After about an hour or two, he would complete the setup, telling Deku that this will be different and or difficult. Now, with the way your quirk works, if it truly is like your father's, then this little piece of tech will help you a lot. As he would hand Deku a pair of glasses. They look more like goggles in the way they're bulky, but they will at least do their job. Deku actually slipping these on, as he's a bit confused. The man would bring his hand up, and Deku would see it as he pulls something off of the, part of the goggle directly right by his face, right next to the right corner of the lens. And it would be a small wire. Deku would see this come out, as the man would immediately plug it into the computer. And Deku would put his hands on the keyboard, as Deku sees everything going on. There are lines of code running everywhere around his face, and he's just staring at it, as he tells Deku to look around and tell me what you see. As Deku does so, he is looking through multiple different things, being thrown in random areas anywhere around the city. He sees computer screens, he sees desktop, he sees phone lenses, camera lenses. He even sees inside of a bank. Now, these are all places that Deku has never been to. Deku has never even seen. They are all random and crazy. As Deku, he begins to somewhat hyperventilate and actually freak out. The man, putting his hands on Deku's shoulders, would tell him to stay calm. Listen, this is going to be an intense experience, especially because of the way your quirk works. But you must know, your father made those special for you. It's actually experimental tech that company has made. One of the good things to come out of it. Now, as Deku would calm down, as the computer screens, the code would somewhat slow and at least be at a pace Deku can see calmly without having to read through it very, very fast. The man would then tell Deku that he needs to look through these areas and stay online for a while, as he would walk into the next room. Or at least Deku thinks he does. The man, he would set up his computers and actually begin to somewhat monitor Deku for a minute, seeing exactly how he's doing, as Deku just looks around. He goes to move. The cord actually does, well, get longer, which kind of surprises him. So he does something any kid would do. He finds the area the cord is coming out of and begins to somewhat pull at it very carefully, wanting to see how much distance he has. Eventually, he would find the length of it, which is about 10 feet, as he walks away from the computer. And, well, he's in the center of the room. As he's in the center of the room, he just begins to bring his hands up. This is intense and somewhat extreme, as everything pops up into Deku's vision. Different monitor screens and everything going on. Deku is someone actually throwing his hands out a bit and taking a step back, as he would somewhat calm down. The man just watches Deku with his hands up. Exactly what is he doing? As Deku somewhat just taps on something, and the man would see him just somewhat step back. Deku's learning more about this. This is intense and it's also crazy. Deku is currently looking through the street view of, well, a camera. Well, not a street view. Deku, he is currently looking through a street view camera, seeing what's going on. He sees traffic flowing and is actually able to rewind the camera, seeing what has happened hours before, which is fascinating, as he begins to somewhat just look at this. Now, he just is in shock and questioning as there is a villain attack. Deku immediately tapping on the villain, somewhat out of instinct just to point at it. As soon as he taps on the villain, he can see its name and the villain's quirk, which confuses him. The villain has a electric-based quirk and actually somewhat of a criminal background, along with the fact that Deku can see how much money he makes a year, possibly from his actual job and or undercover as a villain. This is in shock and questioning Deku a lot. Deku not sure how to feel, as the man would walk into the room, telling Deku that he needs to sit back down. This probably wasn't the best way to train you, as he would grab the goggles from Deku and bring them up over his face. As they're sitting on his forehead, he can see Deku's eyes still somewhat focusing on this. Deku is completely and nearly interfacing with the tech as if it's just a regular pair of glasses. Deku is just somewhat throwing them back down for a second, the man being confused. Deku is saying that this feels easier, it feels more comfortable. Now, as that's happening, there is a bit of a breach in the firewall, as Deku's computer gets hacked. This mummy, or the man we call the mummy, did not have time to put in proper security protocols. He was booting things up on a hard drive, while Deku has been doing all this, along with keeping an eye on him. Now, as that happens, the computer screen would turn black, and, well, turn entirely white, as a very different symbol appears. It seems more like a message, however, as a strange voice would come through the speakers, Deku being able to see this, as the voice begins.
Why, hello, young man. You may not know me. I go by many names. And, well, many tales have been told. You can quite call me the Fancy Man. Well, it's one of the names I most prefer. There is a level of elegance to this whole system. Now, you are in the wrong hands. Do you understand? This isn't the life your father would have wanted for you. Your father would have wanted you to be a hero. A person who can save people. This isn't the right way for you to save people, young man. Do you understand this? Now, I will be hacking through this firewall and actually getting you and your location very soon. If you would comply with me, that would be the best. But if I do need to, I will sadly have to use force. Now, this life that you're going to turn to is not for the lighthearted. It is not something someone can take on so easily. Do you understand, young boy?
Well, hello, Fancy Man. It's been a long time since I've met you and seen you. Well, chat. I see you're not the only one trying to hack through the firewall. So, where does this leave us?
Well, this is odd. Didn't expect to be the other one here. Then again, the information that boy holds is quite valuable. So, just exactly how many of us are there?
All I have to say, there's probably about a bit too many of us. Don't you agree, everyone?
Well, this
Yes, you
crowd
do
is just
seem
a
to be
bit too
right.
large.
I agree.
do think you're right. Now, as all these voices are somewhat agreeing that the crowd's a bit too large, this is whenever the mummy, he would immediately run over to Deku's computer, unplugging it and pulling out a hard drive. As he holds out a magnet over it and starts waving it over. He then proceeds to do the same to more and more of Deku's technology that he just got him. Sad, yes, but he needs to wipe it clean before they can track them down. The man would then tell Deku that he's sorry about that. Now, that was the best thing to do. If they get their hands on you, we're not really sure what they'll do. Along with that, he's fairly certain most of those people are corporate goons. So, you're nothing but a paycheck to them, do you understand me? As the man would bend down and look at Deku, Deku's still being a bit more confused. Those were so many voices. He's not sure how many people those actually were. But this isn't good either way. As he somewhat just starts nodding. A bit, well, scared. The man just explained to Deku that he's going to go get some better tech now. As he walks into the next room, he would instruct Deku to come with him, as Deku would see this computer. It is a full setup, and it should work just as fine or even better than the one he just bought Deku. So things are going to be a bit tricky. The man plugging Deku into the system, telling Deku to just look and see exactly what you can do. For now, as he would hold a small pair of gloves, saying that your training is going to be difficult, and possibly even tricky. Your quirk, it is going to work to counteract surveillance systems, and exactly these facial recognitions software that company is making. So, this is going to be a big challenge. For now, just understand. Keep a part of your face covered at all times. Keep gloves on. They can still track you by your fingerprints. Also, we are going to train you physically and mentally. Your quirk, it seems to work on your mental power. Depending on your mind state, depends on how well you can use it. So I will be helping you on that. Along with, as the man would just hold up a gun, saying that we are going to be working on firearms training and everything I can help you with to keep you alive. As Deku would somewhat just start nodding. Now, after that happens, Deku, he is just looking around the city more, seeing everything and actually seeing everyone around. Actually, he doesn't really notice the city, as he'd finally ask, Where are we? Kid, we're in Aldridge. Then again, I can't blame you. Well, can I at least see my hometown? I'm a bit more familiar with it. I think I know where some cameras are. As the man would just sigh, saying that they can do that. Who exactly do you want to, or what exactly do you want to look at? Deku naming his old school, saying that this place seemed to be a lot better. It was also, well, where some of my friends are. As the man pulls out the keyboard and begins to type in certain commands and more code. The screen is going black for a second before they switch on again, showing Deku the actual city. Deku, he sees his old school. I just bit my tongue there. And he finds it to be a bit nostalgic and a bit happy. Everything that's gone on in the past 2 days has somewhat freaked him out, and this is a bit calming because it's somewhat familiar. Deku watching as the school day is, well, ending. Things are a bit odd. He can see some of his old friends and some people that he at least has had conversations with. They're all just running out of school and being happy. As he sees a limousine pull up to the schoolyard. And a familiar girl get into the, well, back seat of it. He believes that that's Momo, and the facial recognition software has confirmed that. As he sees another limousine pull up. And a familiar half and half walking straight to it. Deku doesn't really need the software to know exactly who that is. That is Shota Todoroki, the son of the number 2 hero. Now, he does have his face covered, so exactly what has happened to him? As Deku would turn, asking if there was an accident. The man saying that it seems so. Hang on. Or well, no, wait. You know the boy, correct? Yes? Well, now, read what it says. As Deku just slips down the goggles. He then goes over what it says. Shota Todoroki. Age, 4.5. Birthday. This date, this month, born this year. Information. Son of the number 2 hero and currently enrolled in this school. His quirk is half hot, half cold. Scar on the left side of his face, clearly a burn mark. And or possibly freezer burn. Which Deku's a bit confused by. His dad did something to him. That's not right. As Deku somewhat gets annoyed. He's been dealing with so much he hasn't realized that other people have been too. As he would somewhat just read off the address. Todoroki's house. As he would ask the man if they can look at or get a look inside the house to see exactly how this happened. The man actually proceeding to do so. As he types in another piece of code and actually begins to press enter. As that happens, you can see inside the Todoroki household. Seeing exactly what is going on. Fuyuma, Todoroki's sister, and his younger brothers, or his older brothers. and Todoroki, along with his mom, Rei. Deku can see how everything happens and how everything unfolded, which would somewhat disturb him. He thought his father caused the burn, but if that's not the case, then, well, he would just continue looking, seeing everything Endeavors put Todoroki through, finding that to be a bit annoying, as he would ask the man if they can at least try helping him. Please. The man just looking at Deku for a minute, before he would sigh, and press enter, as a downloading bar pops up, the man pulling out a hard drive after it completes. They've gathered all the footage of what Todoroki, or Endeavor, has been doing to Todoroki. The man slipping it into an envelope and carefully writing things down, as he would tell Deku that if he really wants to, then he's going to have to go outside and put this in the mail. Do you understand? Yes, sir. As Deku goes to grab it, the man pulling back the envelope immediately, looking at him a bit concerned. Deku realizing why he did that, him putting on the gloves he was handed, then taking it and being walked over to the door. The man would unlock it, and Deku would walk outside. A breath of fresh air. The air inside has felt a bit stale, but now this is different. The man would point down the street, saying that there is a mailbox down there. So, just remember what I told you. I'll be watching you from surveillance. As he'd close the door, Deku, he would somewhat understand. He would bring up his little jacket as he throws over the hoodie. A little All Might jacket, so it's at least, well, normal. As he does pull up the thing the man handed him, covering his mouth and his nose. Walking down the street. Getting to the mailbox, he would immediately put it in the mail and just turn around, running back to the building, as fast as his little legs can carry him. As he would finally arrive, and the man would unlock the door. Deku, somewhat panting heavily and being a bit scared. The man telling Deku that he had nothing to worry about. It'll be okay. Now then, that is where I want to leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.